Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of our Aston Villa career mode here on FIFA 21. Apologies for the slight delay. It was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, but due to a few issues, we have had to delay it for a day. But fingers crossed, now we can get on the grind and really smash this career mode out and do as well as we can with it with Aston Villa, as I say. So we chose Aston Villa obviously last season. Had a bit of a tough time in terms of the Premier League and didn't quite do as well as many people thought. But this season really built on what people really thought they could have done last season. Obviously, briefly, were sort of inside the top four. Some people saying they were going to challenge the title. I don't think that's ever going to happen this season. But compared to last season, when they just escaped relegation by a point or so, they have improved massively. Obviously, great players like Jack Grealish, John McGinn, Ollie Watkins coming in, players like that who are really carrying this club, and who knows what the future can bring for them. So hopefully we can replicate that in this career mode. We are going to try and keep it as realistic as possible. We're not going to go out and spend loads of money on top quality players straight away until we get in a position where we feel like that's realistic to do that. For now, we're going to try and keep it as realistic and as normal as possible, and try and get some good players in, potentially move some players on, and then who knows what's going to happen going forward. So you can just see in the background now, you saw the objectives there, and you can just see going through the team here. We are putting a couple of players up for sale, a couple of players up for loan. You saw there we put Jed Steer up for sale. We've got four goalkeepers. There's absolutely no need to have four goalkeepers. So we decided to put Jed Steer up for sale and keep the other three. You can see as well a few of the youngsters, we're looking to put them out on loan. They're not going to play this season. They're probably not going to play for a few seasons, to be fair, depending on how well we can develop this club. So we look to get them out on loan, look to build what they can do, build their ratings, and potentially in the future come back into the squad and contribute. But again, there's a few players like Henry Lansbury, or El Mohammedi back there as well, and you'll see in a minute as well with Wesley. A few players which, although they could do a job every now and again for us, I feel the players already in their positions and the amount of chance they're going to get, we're better off cashing in them and getting whatever funds we can for them, and using that money to buy some players in positions we need to. So that's the reason for those sort of sales that we're looking to get. And you can see in background here as well, Jack Grealish obviously on the game is a left winger, but we're looking to convert him to centre attacking midfield. You can see the team, our starting 11 there. We are looking to have him as a centre attacking midfielder, so we look to just put him on a development plan. It's only 2 weeks to get him to that cam role, and then obviously he can still play him in left wing role, but 9 times out of 10 he will play him that cam role. So we have got Barkley, but he's him slightly further back in the centre mid role alongside John McGinn. We start pre-season tournament. We do get a 1-0 loss against Real Betis there, which isn't the greatest start to pre-season. But obviously, we've got another two group games coming in, and then hopefully we can push on from there. But you can see again, we're getting some transfer offers in. Gilbert had an offer. I think we had an offer for Steer as well. So the players which we put up for sale, we're looking to sell obviously. But the players we didn't put up for sale, unless someone comes in with a massive offer, then we're unlikely to sell them at this point. Maybe going forward, maybe in January or the next summer window we may look to move a few other players on, but for now, we want to keep the core of the squad and just get rid of those sort of outcast players who aren't going to get a game. So we do look to get a couple of youth scouts in, one in England, one in Belgium, just to bring a couple of youth players through. Obviously, get them trained up. You saw the initial youth report that we get with the starting youth academy. There was only one real player that we wanted to keep in that. So all the others we did release, but we did keep that one player in there. So hopefully he'll be able to grow and give us something going forward. And then you can see there as well, we beat Frankfurt 1-0. So that's two wins in the pre-season tournament and one loss, which does put us through to the semi-finals of it. But we do look to go in and get our first sign of the season, and it is a left back in Brandon Williams. Villa have been linked with Brandon Williams in real life, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to get him. But we were looking at a left back regardless. Obviously, you've got Matt Target there, and you have got Neil Taylor as sort of a reserve left back. But we wanted to bring another player in. Targets, he's a good player, and he probably still will be our starting left back. But we wanted to bring Williams in. Obviously, he's young and he's already a good player, but he's got massive potential. So going forward, he'll be able to sort of take over that left back spot. And you can see there he did make his debut in that semi-final. We did end up winning the game, so potentially he'll get more game time than we do plan with him. But for now, at least for the start of the season, we will still start with Matt Target in left back, and then Williams will get his chance on a rotation base. Obviously, he can play right back as well. I think he's even played centre back in the past for Manchester United. So he's a versatile player who will get his opportunities. And at the end of the day, I thought to myself, he's behind Luke Shaw in the Man United team. Obviously, I brought Alex Telles in as well. So a good player as a third choice left back doesn't sit right with me. So we thought we'd bring him in and have him as a future prospect, but also with the chance of playing now as well. So you saw there, we did end up actually winning the pre-season tournament against Real Betis in the final, which was obviously brilliant with funds that come in with that. And then straight after that, we did look to go and buy a reserve centre-back in Reece Oxford, obviously ex-West Ham player, burst onto the scene at 16 years old with West Ham, but since then hasn't really built on that. He's been out in Germany for a few seasons, first on loan and then obviously permanently to Augsburg. So we wanted to bring him back to England, back to the Premier League. Although he's not the greatest rated player in terms of 66 rating, and he's not going to get him that starting squad straight away. Obviously, we've got Tyrone Mings there, we've got Esri Konsa, and then on the bench you've got players like Bjorn Engels, Courtney Horse, and people like that. But we wanted to bring him in. He's still only 21 years old. He's still got a lot of potential in him, and also he can play defensive midfield as well. Obviously, he's tall and strong, so he'll get his chances in centre back. He'll get his chances in defensive midfield. But we know he's not going to be a starter straight away. But hopefully he'll be able to grow with the club and become a pivotal part of this team. And obviously with his age, he's got age on his side, and he's got more than enough time to prove that he's good enough for one Aston Villa and two Premier League. You saw a big came in there for Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton's probably not best pleased still being a second choice goalkeeper behind Emi Martinez, but we didn't want to get rid of him at this stage. Potentially next season we may look to get rid of him. Obviously he's not getting any younger, but for now we wanted to keep him as a reserve goalkeeper to play back up to Emi Martinez, and then obviously if anything happens to Martinez, we know we've got a quality deputy in terms of Heaton to deputise for him and cover for him. So we wanted to keep him for now, and then potentially next season when we've got some funds and potentially looking to get another goalkeeper in, then we can look to sell Heaton for that reason. But another player we wanted to get is a winger. Aston Villa have got El Ghazi, they've got Bertrand Traore, and they've also got Trezeguet. But none of them, for me, are really that quality player. So we did want to get a new winger in, someone who can play left or right wing, and we went for Burnley's English 20-year-old Dwight McNeil. Now, on paper, he's not a standout player, obviously only 77 years old, but again, he's a young player, he's got huge potential, and he can hopefully change games for us when we need him to. Again, he might not start every game with the players I mentioned before, with Traore and El Ghazi and even Trezeguet. He may not start every game, he may not even get a chance in every game, but we wanted to bring him in again for the future, but also to make a difference now, similar to Brandon Williams, and we do go straight in and put him on a development plan, again a 2 week plan, to change him from a left midfielder into a left winger, which is predominantly where he'll be playing, but he can also play obviously on the right and cut inside onto that left foot. So again, you can see the sort of path we're going down here in terms of signings, in terms of youngsters, not high rated youngsters, but not really low rated youngsters. We're looking for players who are young, have the potential to develop, but can also do a job for us now and cause a few problems, whether they're starting, whether they're coming on as substitutes, or whether it's just in cup games. They're players who are good enough to play, but also maybe not quite good enough to start every game. So that's the sort of route we're going down at the minute. And then obviously going forward, depending on how the season plays out, potentially in January might look to bring some other players in, and then obviously next summer we can look to build on what we've already got. You can see there's the other youth academy player, Posh. He was actually recommended by our original youth scout by saying he's sort of one to look out for, so we thought we'd keep him anyway. As I said before, all the others in that initial report were either too low rated to start with, or didn't have a potential that we were looking to get to. And obviously they could take years and years and years and years to get to that potential, and there's no point having a player rated 45 or 50 sitting in your squad. Although they're not going to take up wages, they're just never going to get played. So I thought I'll release them, let them pursue their career elsewhere, wherever that may be. But obviously, with Posh, we decided to keep him and see how he does. But we go into the first game of the season after that pre-season victory, full of confidence, up against Newcastle United, away from home at St James's Park, and we did actually get off to a really good start, and Ollie Watkins there should have buried that one. The ball came across to him and he took a first time shot, but just ended up dragging it wide of a post. But you can see Newcastle came back here, and Emi Martinez making a great save, proving why he's being touted as one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League in real life at the minute, and he's proven it there with that save. But Newcastle come back at us again, and it is a goal for Newcastle with Isaac Hayden scoring in the 22nd minute. Good little piece of 1-2 play through with Newcastle, and then Isaac Hayden just smashes it back into the back of the net. But it was a really end-to-end first half, to be honest, and no one was really on top of this stage. It was just like a ping-pong match. It was we attack, they attack, we attack, they attack, and obviously Newcastle did manage to get the goal, but El Ghazi looks to cause problems here. He cuts inside his man onto his right foot. Barkley picks the ball up on the edge of the box and he smashes it across his body past the Newcastle goalkeeper to make it 1-1 with a great goal from Ross Barkley for Aston Villa's first goal of the season. And just a couple of minutes later, again, we look to build on that. Obviously, we've got the confidence from getting that one goal. We play the ball across to El Ghazi. He looks like he might cut in onto his right foot. He does a couple of step overs, pushes it onto his left, and smashes it past the goalkeeper to make a really quick turnaround. Two goals in a couple of minutes, and we end up leading the game 2-1 with goals from Ross Barkley and Anwar El Ghazi. Obviously, El Ghazi, one of the players that Dwight McNeil maybe possibly taken the position of, but El Ghazi's proven there why he wants to stay in the squad and why he's deserving of keeping his starting spot. Going into the second half then, and it actually started, nothing really happened to start with, but you can see here coming into around about the 65th minute, Newcastle had a procession of corners here, and we just couldn't get the ball out. They were hitting the front post all the time. The defender made one good block on the line. You saw there, Emi Martinez made a good save on the line again, and they just kept peppering us with these corners. They do get their fourth one in here now, and you do see we do actually manage to get this one clear. I think it's Bertrand Traore manages to get one clear, but Newcastle have the shot. It gets blocked, and Isaac Hayden, one of the luckiest goals I've ever seen in my life. He slices his volley, but he manages to loop over Emi Martinez for his and Newcastle's second of the game. So going into the last sort of 30 minutes at 2-all, the game had slowed down a bit here. I mentioned in the first half it was end to end, one attack after another, but the game obviously as it went on, the game slowed down a little bit and the chances were really at a premium at this point. And you can see in Newcastle they do get the chance with Ryan Fraser and they do actually go in front to lead 3-2. I thought that little chip ball over to Ryan Fraser was offside, but linesman said it wasn't, and obviously that's the decision. So unfortunately they do go into the final couple of minutes with a 3-2 lead. Dwight McNeil did come on for his debut. He had a shot there, obviously cutting in from right hand side. He came on from for Traore. He cut in on the right hand side onto his stronger left foot and had the shot, but nothing to trouble the Newcastle goalkeeper. And that was about that really. So we do end up losing our first game 3-2, but you can't fault the lads there. They came back from 1-0 down, turned it on its head quickly and brought it back 2-1. But unfortunately, defensively, we just couldn't keep the shape and keep the goals out from Newcastle. So we do end up losing the first game, but there's positives to take from it. In terms of the attacking side of things, it's maybe just the defence we need to work on. But that is pretty much going to wrap up this episode. You can just see a couple of negotiations going on in the background for a few players. But as I say, that is going to wrap this episode up. Hopefully, the next episode will be up tomorrow. We will be having hopefully 3 games in that episode. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Any comments down below are much appreciated in terms of video. And as I say, just subscribe to the channel, follow our journey, and fingers crossed we can get to where we want to be. Thank you for watching. Take care.